Welcome, guys. This is the round 6 of Norway Chess 2025. We have the world champion Gukesh is going to take on Magnus Carlsen, who is currently world number 1, and there should be a big clash between them because both the players are extremely strong. Let's see what will happen in the game. And Gukesh, as usual, starts to adjust his pieces and keeping his calmness before the game. And Magnus arrives to his board, and you can see there is a little champ looking towards Magnus and ready to start the game, and all the paparazzis are there, and he makes the move by playing e4, and most likely to Gukesh take his move back. Yep, he does, and waiting for the announcement to start the game, and Gukesh opens the game with e4. Let's see what Magnus will do. Will he play e5 or play c6, the Caro-Can, or c5 here? Let's see what he will do. And he plays defensive response and plays e5. Knight comes to f3, knight c6, bishop comes to b5. We have the royal opaz over the board. And here Magnus plays knight to s6, the Berlin defense. Now Gukesh has two options whether he can castle here or play knight c3, the anti-Berlin. No, he goes d3. Gukesh not generally play this move. Maybe he has a different mindset here. Now we have c3. Wants to play d4 and wants to throw away the bishop, and Magnus castles here. Gukesh also short castles. Magnus thinks a bit and plays d6. And now Gukesh has two options whether he play bishop a4. No, he plays h3 so that bishop cannot move here. Magnus attacks the knight and Gukesh takes it back. And we have h6 so that there will be no pin to the knight. Rook comes to e1, and Magnus here attacks the bishop and saying him to move your bishop back, and he puts his bishop to c2. And Magnus takes back his bishop to b6. Knight comes out to d2. Maybe he wants to jump knight f1 to knight g3. Knight comes to e7 to g6. Maybe his idea. And we have a4. And rook comes to b8. And here Gukesh plays d4. He is saying Magnus to take the pawn, but Magnus does not take the pawn and plays knight g6. And now Gukesh thinks a bit and puts his knight to f1 and wants to jump g3 here. And Magnus plays c5. And now Gukesh can push the pawn, but he plays knight g3. Let's see what he will do. Magnus takes the pawn. Gukesh should. Yep, He does. And now Magnus can take this, but no, he takes the e4 pawn here. Now you should take back with the bishop, and he does it. Now you don't have to forget that the pawn is hanging here. Bishop comes to b6, sorry, b7. And Gukesh now push the pawn to d5, and he does. And you can see there is a threat of f2. Magnus pushes his pawn to a5. Bishop comes to f3 so that there will be no threat of the pawn. Magnus should not take it. No, he does not. And he plays bishop to c8. If he takes the pawn, there will be a surprise attack to the b3 pawn. That's why he pushes it. And he takes the bishop here. Now he can take with the rook, and he does it. And we have knight f4. Threatening takes. Let's see what Gukesh will do. And he plays bishop to c6. And Magnus puts his rook to b4. He is threatening the pawn. Now you can see here the pawn is under pressure here. So Gukesh have to think about it. And he plays king h1. Bishop comes to a6. Threatening the queen. And he plays the move. And also putting pressure here. And Gukesh defends the pressure. Queen moves to a5, attacking the bishop, or also offering a trade, and they traded it. And now Magnus pushes his pawn and wanting to knight to move from here. You can see Gukesh's position is now lost here. He has nothing left. He is a pawn down, and he is facing the endgame god. King moves to g7. He is attacking the pawn. Now he should resign the game here. Well, let's see where it goes. Maybe he can manages to a draw. You can see here the trading of pieces is happening very fastly. And we have this brilliant move. Bishop e4, pinning the knight. Maybe his idea is to take, and there will be a check, and your pawn will be hanging then. But Magnus goes for rook d1 first. Gukesh pushes his pawn to g4. And he wants a trade of bishops. And Gukesh happily does it. And there is nothing much left for Gukesh here. He's a pawn down. Let's see. Magnus tries to bring his king. And slowly and steadily bringing his king. We have a check. Another check. Now the rook is being attacked. So he moves to f2. Magnus pushes his pawn to throw away the knight. We have a check here. King moves to e2. Another check. And trade of rooks. The rook is being attacked. So he can give a check here. But instead of this, he goes king g3. Gukesh takes the pawn. We have this beautiful passers here. And we have rook to g8. Gukesh gives a check. King moves to e1. Now the knight is pinned, so he gives a check. You can take it. And now Gukesh is a knight up. Let's see whether he manages to win. Now Gukesh has two options, whether he play knight e7. Let's see. And he plays it. What? What a tactical blunder by Magnus Carlsen. I can't believe. Oh shit. Magnus realizes that blunder. But still he has not won the game. He has the only hope. And we have a passer created by Gukesh. What? What? We have knight b2. And we have a check. And the pawn is hanging here. When Magnus bangs the table, what a game. What a tactical blunder by Magnus Carlsen. You can see here, he bangs the table very hardly and apologizes after that. And you can see his facial expressions. He bangs the table very hardly and apologizes. Gukesh can't believe that he has won a lost game. You can see in a slow-mo video. Gukesh still can't believe that he has won a lost game by a player who has not lost an endgame win. You can see his facial expression and he pats on his back, apologizes. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and help me to reach 1000 subscribers. See you soon.